Today, I have some sad news to tell you, and that is we have lost something legendary. Now, I know I said this before, but this time I actually mean it because we have lost something amazing, something that holds good memories to a lot of people watching this video, and that is the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U eShop. Now, let's be honest, no one really cares about the Wii U. It was a console that completely flopped because I don't know anyone who owns it. I think that's going to be like one of the most hardest things of all time is to find a Wii U in real life and not in some YouTube video. I'm here 100% thinking that console didn't even release because Nintendo doesn't want to talk about it. I think the 3DS ended up releasing around 2013, an extremely long time ago. Now, I don't really feel like counting how much years that was, but I have a lot of memories playing the Nintendo 3DS. I remember back in the day when I was a little kid, just going and just playing the games like Kid Icarus Uprising, Super Smash Bros. On the 3DS. It was a good time, but sadly, the Nintendo 3DS store is going away. This is not good news. Now, I know there's a lot of people saying like, oh, who cares that the store is going away? All of this is nostalgia doing it, but who cares? I care. Because every time when these stores goes away, there are some video games that you generally just lose forever, for the rest of the time. One easy example of games that are completely going away are the Kirby minigames. Now, when the Kirby games released on 3DS, like games like Kirby Triple Deluxe, most of these games will come with minigames. Now, most of these minigames got spin-offs that you can actually buy on the Nintendo 3DS store, like Kirby Battle Royale. And these games are only available on the Nintendo 3DS store. So, when this store goes shut down, these games basically just don't exist anymore. You can't go and play it. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that, well, those games have versions on the Nintendo Switch, but it's not the original version. It's a brand new updated version. If you want to go and play the original version of the game, it's just something that you can't do anymore. If you want to go and buy a brand new Nintendo game, like let's say you still have your 3DS and you weren't able to play a game like Fire Emblem Awakening, the extremely good 3DS game, and you want to go play that game, well, you just can't anymore because now the store doesn't exist. Even if you want to go and play Fire Emblem Fates, now I don't know why you want to go play that game because that game is absolutely terrible, but for some weird reason, if you just feel like, I want to go play that game, I want to play Fire Emblem Fates Revelations, that absolutely awful game, well, guess what? You can't anymore unless you don't have the physical copy, and this is just extremely sad to see. Now, I also don't understand why companies do this because they say that they dislike stuff like emulation, but this is the reason why I support stuff like this. The reason why I love when people emulate games or when people try their hardest to emulate new games is literally for situations like this, because as we're moving to a completely digital world and everything that we own now is now digital, we technically don't really own anything we have, because the second the server shut down or the second like this the store shut down, everything that you have just doesn't really exist anymore. Now, I'm gonna assume that the games you still already own and the games you have on the 3DS you're probably still gonna have. I don't think they're randomly gonna disappear for existence, but let's say if they do, that's a lot of games that just could be gone. Games that's not safe on your DS you just can't really access anymore. Like, that's just absolutely terrible to think about. And I think this is just something that more companies should actually try to do, is try to actually preserve these games. Try to preserve games that are on your storefront. Try to make sure that people can play these games as long as possible. Make sure that if you want to go play a game 20 years in the future, 10 years in the future, ever in the future, you should still be able to play that game. That game just shouldn't just not exist anymore because the storefront goes away. This is why I think when people emulate stuff, this is why I think it's good. And I think it's something that more people just need to go and support. Because I know a lot of people are going to bring up where if you're a true fan, if you're going to want to go and play the game, you're going to go pick up your 3DS yourself and put in the cartridge. But we're at the point where the 3DS is now a retro console, which I know is extremely weird to see, but it is. The storefront doesn't exist anymore, and it's pretty hard to find a 3DS nowadays. They aren't something that you're probably making anymore. So we're going to reach a point in time where these physical copies of these games are going to be extremely hard to find, and they're starting to become rare. It's already happening where some people are already overpricing some 3DS cartridges, and that's just going to keep on getting worse as time goes by. And the more this keeps on going, the less and less that these games that you enjoy, you may just not be able to play anymore, or may not even be able to find a physical copy. Again, Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates are two games I have a lot of memory of playing, and these are games that some people may just not be able to play anymore. If they don't get remastered or remake, some people may just not be able to play these games anymore because the hardware that originally off 3DS, they may not be able to find one. And even if they do find a 3DS, they may not even be able to find a cartridge to use it, which means the game is kind of just slowly eroded and just goes away with the test of time. And I think a lot of people can relate to like how terrible that's going to be, because I think we all have games on the 3DS that we have a lot of memories of playing like thousands of hours on. Another one is the Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. That was a game that I spent too much time playing. I even talked about it when I was talking about super duper grindy video games. That was one game that I remember playing a lot of. And if people in the future can't get access to the game anymore or can't play that game, that's generally like a big piece of Monster Hunter history gone. Because I think that's a game that got a lot lot of people inside of the series. And if it's just gone anymore, like, what are we going to talk about? And if you think finding a 3DS game is going to be hard, imagine how hard it's going to be to find a Wii U game. A console that barely anyone owns. Like, again, try to find me someone who actually owns a Wii U. When those game discs finally goes away, no one owns them anymore, what are you going to do? If there's a Wii U game that you want to go play again and your disc is rather lost or broken, well, you can't go on the eShop and buy it. And since not really a lot of people own them, it's probably going to go away extremely fast. And there's a chance where if these Wii U games aren't preserved in some way, they could just fizzle out of existence. So I think companies should always try their hardest to like preserve these games as much as possible. Make backwards compatibility options, or even make a way where you can go emulate the game. Now I know a lot of people say that Nintendo do have their extremely terrible system where you can spend like an absolutely crazy amount of money, like $64 something a year or something, and they give you like a drip feed of games that you can go play on their Nintendo Online service. That's not really that good, and their emulation is really bad. I swear you could just get one better yourself. So yeah, this situation just sucks, and we have lost just a bunch of legendary games that are now in the internet graveyard. Anyway, this is something that I wanted to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.